I do see Dr. Pitts in here. So I wonder if Dr. Pitts, would you like to share a couple of words of observation with your breakaway panel, or if you have someone assigned until the Congresswoman is able to come? And then Dr. Gunda, are you there also? Dr.
Yes,
Gunda?
I am around.
Great. So maybe two of you can brief us until she arrives, and then we'll go from there. Again, our apologies for having to cut the conversation short. Dr. Pitts, either you or the person representing your group, please.
Yes, we decided not to have a person representing our group because the session was taped. So we were told that. And so we
Okay.
decided to get a recorder. But I just want to say three things. This was one of the most informative. Is that Congresswoman?
Is the Congresswoman here? Congresswoman Jackson Lee, are you there?
She's not yet in.
Okay. Can you announce to me once she's arrived, please?
Yes, will do.
Thank you. Dr. Pitts, over to you again.
Yes, this was one of the most informative panels that I've ever been on regarding African spirituality, and also the issue of Pan-Africanism. I think one of the exciting points was that we had a woman on who was Lalisha Johnson, who was an atheist who gave a presentation concerning the whole issue of music and dance and performance. I think it was really helpful to me to see the reality of African spirituality, even when we don't see ourselves as being a part of a spiritual movement. Also, I was really excited about the possibility of having people from the various African diaspora areas across the world who also gave presentations, and you could see the interconnection between who we are as Africans in the diaspora and how the issue of spirituality is so ingrained in our being. Bonnie gave an excellent analysis of the document that was written and how that document really should be the foundation for us moving forward, and also some of the challenges of Christianity. So I thought this was a very good session. Unfortunately, I was late getting into the session, and I think that we did need to have more time, but I appreciate the organizers of this session because I think you did a tremendous job.
Dr. Pitts, thank you so much. Dr. Gunda, would you like to offer a couple reflections also?
Thank you. I think, yeah, first, the time was just too limited because we had people that had
I believe you're muted, Dr. Gunda.
mute myself. I don't know why it then. Okay, thank you. So I think we had an interesting sharing from Eric Phillips with his vast experience working on reparations commission of the CARICOM. We saw and how he infused the African concept of Ubuntu into what reparations should look like, and so it's quite interesting how, for example, we should not disconnect the present attempts from the past, because as he quoted an African proverb, if we stand tall, we will succeed because we will be standing on the shoulders of our ancestors. So in other words, each generation must be building on previous generations. And this idea from Manchester is really feeding into this kind of understanding. But there were also very strong words, particularly looking at slavery as a criminal economic activity, for that's what it was, and which is why particularly the question of reparations come into becoming an issue for people, because this was an economic activity through which continents, a whole continent of Europe benefited immensely, while at the same time, a whole continent was ravaged, raped, and left for dead. And people of African descent, wherever they are, became victims of this criminal economic activity. And so that was particularly interesting. And the fact that globalization and capitalism that benefited immensely from slavery are still part of what we are going through is not lost on this quest. And the other thing was also to be holistic in what we are searching for, particularly in the quest for reparations. Not only because of the sad, sometimes unfortunate dissonances between people of African descent themselves, but also because in acting individually, we weaken our position. And one clear case was the comparison between Jewish reparations for the Holocaust and the reparations that have been extended to the Herero and the Mau Mau communities on the African continent, where clearly you can't really see the justice in both of these cases. But sometimes it's also because of the divisions that are existing within the movement. Maybe it's a high time we become stronger in our oneness, which is the element of the Pan-Africanism that was also touched on, that we are one, whether on the African continent or outside the African continent. We might want to start speaking as one because we are one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are grateful for these observations. Please be assured that all of the proceedings of AAD Manchester Conference will be available. The recordings will be available. So if you were only able to be a part of one conversation versus another, please rest assured that the recording will be available at the website that is being used to access the links for the time together. At this time, it has come to my attention that the Congresswoman has not joined. I just want to check with the tech team. I think there was also a Mr. Johnson who was a part of the conversations, who was at the meeting relative to reparatory justice, representing the Congressman in those discussions. And I don't know if he is here and can speak a word on her behalf, or if she may yet be coming. Maybe the tech team can advise at this time.
The speaker can speak on her behalf. That will work. Congresswoman still hasn't joined us.
Okay, do we see Mr. Johnson? I think it's Mr. Zebulon Johnson who may be there.
Mr. Johnson also isn't in the room.
Okay, he was in the room for the other workshop. The other panel. Okay, well, we've come to the end of our time. We regret that apparently this is not going to happen in this moment. We apologize. It could be in a technical difficulty, or as you know, congressional leaders always taken away for votes and many other things that affect the country of the United States. So we apologize for having to, again, cut the various panel discussions, and we apologize for her absence at this time. It could be that she comes back another time during the week. In any respect, on tomorrow, we will be addressing the issues of multilateralism, and that is with the United Nations, the African Union, and other related bodies and networks that we are a part of, particularly with the advancement of the UN decade in solidarity with people of African descent, and now the Permanent Forum of People of African Descent. We are honored that people who are working in that space firsthand will be with us on tomorrow. I don't think you'll want to miss it, cut is clearly part of the strategy of us moving forward. As we remember that we are part of the 6th region of the African Union in terms of those of African descent, as well as the 5 regions on the continent itself, and that the permanent forum, which will launch on next year, will be key in terms of all of us finding this renewed Pan-African Renaissance moment of coming together. I believe my co-convener, Reverend Frank Chikani, is still on the line. I would ask him to offer any concluding quick comments and to thank the team and everyone else for this very substantive, I think, transitional day into the remaining days of our life together. Reverend Chikani, are you there?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon and good morning for those who are in the morning, and good night. I must say that I've gone through the whole day. I tried also to go in both groups, and this has been a very informative moment. I think it's quite clear that within 3 hours, we can't do everything. So I've put in the chat that maybe we need to recommend into the future that there be further discussions on these matters so that we can concretize them. But the day was indeed wonderful. Would like to thank all the speakers and our Reverend Dr. Angelique Walker-Smith for facilitating, and our brother Michael Blair, Reverend, who started us off. We really thank you for this session. We're looking forward to going into the multilateral subject tomorrow, and God bless.
God bless everyone. And again, it will be important that you put your ideas in the chat. We'll keep it on for just a few minutes longer as people depart. And then we will see you on tomorrow. Our European leaders from the international team will be leading on tomorrow. So we look forward to their leadership as we speak of multilateralism and the Pan-African agenda. Thank you. God bless to all.